I just found out my husband has been secretly killing my beloved houseplants by adding bleach to their water, and now I don't trust him at all. I, 31 female, have many houseplants and even some that were quite expensive and were gifts from my sister. Within the last 6 months at least a third of my plants have died. I have had houseplants my whole life due to my late mother's own love of houseplants, and I know a lot about plants. The death of the plants didn't seem related to lack of light, or inconsistent watering, or lack of nutrients, or even root rot. They just died very suddenly. I tried to not let it upset me too much because plants die and it was not any of the expensive ones until now. My sister gave me a 5-leaf Monstera albo-rooted plant for my birthday 2 months ago. It was beautiful. This morning I was crying pretty hard about it as I unpotted it and took a look at the roots, and I was looking hard at this plant and roots to see if its death was pest related, and that's when I noticed a smell. I sniffed my potting mix and I smelled bleach. The only other adult person in my home with unlimited and unobserved access to my plants is my husband, 32 male. I wasn't able to talk to him for several hours, but when I could speak to him I very calmly but very directly asked if he had done something to my plants. He denied it at first. I said I smelled bleach in the potting mix of the albo my sister had gotten me and that the only person that could have put it there was him, and he caved. He said he was putting small amounts of bleach into the fertilizer water jugs I prepare. I started crying. I asked him why would you do this? You know I love these plants, why would you destroy them? He didn't really answer, nor did he really apologize. The trust I had in him is absolutely gone. I think maybe counseling can help us, but he's the one that did this, but I'm the one that would have to set up the counseling. The angry part of me just wants to be done with the relationship. I know that might seem overboard, as we are married and share a child, but I feel now that I'm not safe around my husband. Edit. I thank everyone for giving advice. The townhome we live in is mine and my sister's, our inheritance from my mother. My husband has an office/den/gaming room that is his personal space, and there are no plants there. There are also no plants in the kitchen. I'm not a plant hoarder. Like he has a room for himself, I also have a sunroom, and that is where the concentration of plants live. He has no reason to go in there. It's not access to our backyard or anything. I saw some people saying maybe he's sick of bugs, but I do not have a fungus gnat problem. I did see one person ask why did I not smell the bleach when I was watering, and I can only say my nose wasn't all up in there maybe. I also usually use a natural systemic in my fertilizer water called SNS 209 that smells heavily of rosemary, but I ran out last month and haven't replaced it yet. After our convo yesterday I needed space. I spent the night in my daughter's room on a trundle bed. I'm going to text my husband today. He usually communicates easier and opens up more via text, rather than face to face. I'm going to ask for a reason and I'll see what he says. Edit number 2. My husband won't be welcome in my home anymore and I need to find a lawyer as soon as possible on Monday. I did text him and he admitted again to putting bleach in my fertilizer water. He says it wasn't every jug I ever made, so that explains why it wasn't all my plants dying but randomly over the past 6 months. His exact words were that I deserve to be knocked down a peg. After the text communication I went home from work early and I entered his office. I usually respect his space completely. I don't even go in there to grab dirty dishes. I don't know what I was looking for, but the hundreds of comments saying he was working up to something worse or already was doing something else really worried me. I went in there and I found a drawer full of my daughter's dolls and dollhouse furniture and little toys. I bought her that dollhouse for her 4th birthday last year and she has loved it. She takes such good care of her toys, but something always ends up missing and it's always my husband who notices. He lectures her about keeping track of her things and how he won't let her play with her dollhouse if she keeps losing things. He keeps going till she starts to sob. When I hear this going on I always step in and ask him to go take a break. I assumed he was losing his cool. I've told him this is not how to deal with this with a kid and he says he just wants her to grow up responsible. I now see it was some weird scheme? Or setup or something? He would steal the stuff and stash it away and point out it was gone to berate our daughter till she cried. That's insane. My sister and her husband's dad came over this afternoon and they've changed the locks. I've texted him to tell him he isn't coming back and that he can come on Saturday morning to grab his essential things, but that my brother-in-law and another man would be there to watch. Sorry if this is unclear if things seem missing. This Reddit post isn't super my priority. I will probably not be updating again. Thank you to everyone worried about my safety.